So the real and the truth. And this is Saturday. I should apologize because if I still have my flows in my mouth, and it's disgusting, sorry. The situation, further of the words, naturally, I don't need, we don't need. It is a classic sin of a hypocrite if I'm gonna start to telling you and giving you a class of how the possibility, the morphology of the terms as we understand the most of the popular to describe the violence in the class of the discrimination, denigrations, or whatever the side of. Just to deliver whenever I don't want them. And we don't need them, but we don't need neither the sagacity of the how's this there's a very code that shows the class and the species. The Barano has a very special class, and these are raptures. I'm sorry, okay, this is violence. But the problem is the violence for violence, while you understand. Sorry. Okay. So suddenly we were discussing today about certain realities that supposedly will be the demons, while certain this code which looks like in a very wrong way to be the MC, while these are and are the poisons all around, like La Mamba Negra, with the Kirchner's titles inside neuropsychiatric, well, that the real term except Amegino, which there is a class of necrosis having all around, naturally. Borda Verpiniero, Chirroca, Herich, and others. And Cuerpo Médico Forense with more than 5, but the necrosis is for wording. That's the worst, and that's a very coefficient of for everything is okay, we have future by destroying people and having sodomite to providing with raping and murdering. Sadly, the clear fact of this, in but we should pay attention at the reality. Telling that they commanded because of they command and this is exactly what we were discussing today, and I apologize again for the terms, seriously, I'm sorry. But saying I'm sorry while not fixing the problem is class of a very sense of weight of a very frustrating impotence and pain in the middle of a situation that is not fixed. So one feels of istakti aspe osmosim. It means core and element for descripting a reality and apologizing which no senses to because of the problem is not fixed and always bleeds and the pain, and the element for vacuity on the destruction that causes is everyday deepest, and saying I'm sorry is class of a very nonsense and like a laugh. And I don't need that, we don't need that, and I'm sorry. Alright. Clearing for the same problems we are going through and still the situation. You know, vesat lechem achlechni sive, pleves poktika ravachmocinam atleves masinim. Geliki ravefech lachmocia pleves eshovim, slekin ravefech macia pleves oshvatzim aplech machamivam. Suddenly, it's a very sight of lechmachi shvoat leki ravefech macia plevesim. And I'm sorry for the Spanglish, even though there is a very quote of a lot of other emplacements, but the clear fact of my communication and further my word, I'm sorry for it. Shall be whole Hebrew, whole English, or any language like, if there will be any mixing about referring for us thematically or deliverance of the communication for any class of a situation to describe, so the people will ever rest instead to trying to Hebrew side and English and right. Okay, sorry for that. Gerham Halevesimi, Inkrevefechlahi Besmodleseshvasima plan. So suddenly, we were discussing something today about one person that is not the point for. But is this clear? The descriptable, not descriptable, descriptably, or descriptany, weird, site for idioms between policy, judicial, etc. Okay, is a clear moment to maybe helps, which we already were talking. Side of what a very idiosyncrasy, culture, a very instant for what preferences, or rather to deliver one action and forwarding to the building which it means. At the side of the senses, something which would work for not only one, but the communal, and really communal, character for a society or a nation. So there were so long the right clay sakti kambesmog, which it means the moments for certain class of organizations to deliver powers and powers to hegemonically putting in actions for calling nations at the site of them standika betlasim, which will be the flag and the right element for the podium as governance. Right, now, we found that there existed regimes at the preferences for certain called policy sides on the story of governments. So in the middle of this all, the most recurrent is found out, which it were called capitalism, socialism, communism, like ideas for elements of foundations to sustaining the world. Suddenly, there were happening a lot of circumstantials and other class of currents which not only for morphologically, anthropology, and evidently which it means the standards for a society to grow and to fundating the best ever to develop what as nation meant for, delivers the best ever to building with. Then, we found a very Latin America and a very descripting or descriptable class that is proselytistically, opportunistically criminal, and the whole of the filling the mouth in the best ever tasty flavored of class of a necrosis deliver for the brains to only attach at the my hero, give me a coin, give me my vice state, give me my five field yield you produce, and I'm gonna be just great because of you I'm gonna follow you. At the clear of the soul is certain class of interesting element that is normal for the capitalism and Zionism. I'm going to tell you one thing. We were discussing about this, and I gave him a title which is interesting, which were also public for Mr. President Barack Obama and Mr. President Evril Rivlin, U.S. Israel, and Justice Bodies with your honors. And it's a very interesting side to understand this. There is not the regime, and capitalism doesn't imply this to destroying people and only look at the side of the what is earning and what is lost, or missing at the side of coins or currency. Actually, at the facts of this, which it means capitalism, delivers at the idea for what we were discussing, the element for preferences about fundating an EDIC called, which is index for the de-edisonymic capacity of a person, which taking condition and character of authority above a very institution and with the institution and within the same class as delivering labor as a nation to be atzim atlech nitzim, giving the best to grow and develop, and to birth the best of the capacities for a nation to be as a nation fundated, can give the best ever as organon, like we use this word, artifact, apparato of government, superseding at the fundating with this as administrative, policy, capacity, and elemental as anthropology and element for technique, DMTIC, which is class of a very instaurating for what it means, the class of the regime identifying what class of administration is implied. And this class is fundating for economic development. Capitalism delivers into fundating in base of economy, which developing for an economically side, for a society developing for a government and a society itself to grow, and how the medias and the way to developing capitalism to grow from the side of development and growing financially and producing financially. This doesn't mean crime, and this doesn't mean I don't care about humanity. The clear fact of this is what I just said, and which it were so long. Although as US example, so criticized for the supposed economy, and they don't give the damn supposedly for no human, which were fighting as Mr. President Barack Obama to try to make the job. For this to work, and human cares. The problem is not the regime, the problem is not the fundating for development of financial capacity for economy foundations over a country and about a country and a nation. The situation is what is the handle for and who is behind. So if you tell me the reality of capitalism is the power for the having the money and making the klef machali v'sochlekim, this lie. It's the person that delivers the administration and what for. So if you tell me US were suffering so long for the reason of what it is, the 33 degrees, the character and the condition for the taking powers, and like I said, which it is exactly the element. And the regime will be genocider at the 33 degrees because of there is the class of understanding Masonry at the point to try to putting and establishing the elements up on. And up on at the terms of hegemonically power for power itself, and proceeding up to suppressing and destroying and healing and corrupting, which can be risk for them power to lose. And suppressing at the point of diminishing and trampling and besmirching enough for them to not rise. At the point to rising, like equalizing the elements to sustaining its same power and its same capacity as power to remain in. Which the reason of United States of America is very proper of themselves, as I, citizen as well of. The reality of this delivers into economy development for people working with and developing capacity for delivering financial and living at the right element for and understanding human cares at the side of each as rights. It's a difference. And here in Argentina, this is not socialism, this is fraud and crime organized all over. The same UNASUR. So at the point of this, the same class of examples over this person were very different over mistaking and misproper identification for the reality, which we were discussing today for whatever the conducting elements of despotism, of tatsmi, corrupted and corrupted for the side of suppressive and suppressive for healing and healing for selective reality and did not suffer. So suddenly, in the middle of this reality happens other class of situations, and these situations delivering into 33 degrees. Kirchners were always Masonry, pure sickness and pure witch, sick, corrupted, criminal culture, and still are and were always, and no one were poor except the victims, which they brings, wash brain, stimulates, gives the safe element, like out of us you're not gonna find no life, like a sect, and using and promoting and producing ills and destroys and manipulates and makes up machineries for coverage and proceed with the same class of a sickness, which is abominables and criminal. So Satan in the middle of the soul suppresses, ills, destroys, disappears, murders, genocides, and denials. You understand this? I just crossed while coming back that I didn't want to, but in the circumstances we're going through, still I have the problem. Naturally, they are wrong until they do not die and release the last cubic millimeter of air from them disgusting lungs. They're going to proceed and make the same. And I have the problem, like it or not, is direct. They are not going to convert into no God, and there are not going to be no respect about nobody, and they will say, I command, and saying that they has rights. So I have been victimized since 2003 and 2004, much before. But yes, degeneraditos, sorry the word. So in the middle of this, they were hiding and producing and proceeding backstages and masking the scenes and the situations where I will need medications because of they will give me life lessons, because of they will diminish me and saying that that will be my place because of they will be the crown ones while making disgusting things in front of them computers with my photo, like Aníbal Fernández and others. And so, them Sodom and Gomorrah, them equips for raping and murdering my people, and making sacrificial things for strengthening the patriot. So, class of this, destroying the worth and the risk for them power to lose, and to remaining at the site of rising what they says worth for the patriot, the whole of criminal, abominable, seek, degenerate, the most psycho. And that is the patriot. And the rest dies at the head garbage spots and the haze of the although soft common have me my sorry for the Sodom and Gomorrah. So I raping, murdering in other terms, and proceeding at the they will be glorious, and glorious they will be me. So I'm telling you, my supposed liar is like this 3 little crab, sorry for the violence, breed of Sodoma, Kirchners, Argentina, in a car stolen of a family raped and murdered, but them Sodom and Gomorrah, them supposed expertises and militaries Argentina, them supposed expertises and militaries Argentina, telling the host wanted the liar, 3 breed, lousy sickness, degenerados, playing the right and the glorious, they will share our lives in whatever we have, around whatever them supposed to rights to taking and doing, like naturally Kirchners always done and always were. Sic degenerados, criminales baratos. Sorry this violence. So all through this, and for the clear of the fact, and while, happens naturally. And this will be sick, and to try to silence me with the todavía no será pu, it will be I wouldn't be a maiden on sex yet, but I'm Sodoma, and I wasn't oral making yet, and supposedly I should, because of they will command. So in the middle of this sick, brazen cycles of hell, diablos degenerados Kirchners, were permanently promoting and producing the ways for this, rising the sickness to holding them powers, and the ill and destroyed for them powers to remain, and the clear fact of this destroying the worth that we're telling them, get the hell out. And all through this, and were 33 degrees, but the side of power. I am a Latin America oppressed by the North and the capitalism. Socialist of the trouser of Sodom and Gomorrah, bleeding gonorrheic, rotten piece of a witched or bewitched meat, pretending of glories and gods. So suddenly, at the reality of this side of the Masonry sect that generates Argentina, which always were the same ones and remains all around making the same class, tribunales, cuerpo médico forense, fuerzas armadas, ejército argentino, congreso, always the same all. And the legacies and the breed, on the breed, on the breed, and puking the abominablest, this goddamn abominable land, with the pardon of victims and innocence, and I mean it. For the reality of they proceed at the same. It's not capitalism. Socialism implies the capacity of a community to watch one each other and giving benefits at the reality of self, character of empathy, of human to another, and social communities building for the well of the society itself, implying the whole as administration, institution, and element, infrastructure of government in responsibility to giving benefit and wellness, or welfare, or goodness to a nation as social capacity to developing and giving sites, spaces, character, reality, and emplacement for what it is, human side, natural. And not exactly the circus of this that generates manipulative zigzag cycles. And any other like comes with this. Mason crab. Sorry the word. And the reality of communism doesn't imply as the other side of the suffered even Masonry. On the reality is all the ikimahlahim equal and everyone at the same proportion of the what is provided, and no one says no word because of that is enough. That is not communism. Communism delivers into the point of common diklehmatsenim. There is not agreement. There is part to part in a society to deliver the right selakinram, essences for no one to go upon no other, and no one to have not the difference to deliver into the bad going and making mistreating for class or any other class of condition, and to disgregating and a community and society to deliver one each other watching face to face and saying, hey buddy, I'm just like you, I have like you, and everything's okay, let's having a day. And communism doesn't give no help and no preferences, and the reality of helping people to grow is the reality to developing the idea for you human, you are for something. You're not just like me, I'm not just like you. We have virtues, we're different. We have Atlikam, we have Klemisim, we have Blesabab, we have El Simab. That's not alright, but I found you, Blech Masachli, and you have this, and you have that, and you have Blech Masikatli, Ramat Simab. The virtue to producing as making a great economical element for the giving job and giving a good moment to others is not equal for other that maybe produces and develops capacity to teaching. And even at the contemplating, at the watch for this to happen naturally in a nation, is not exactly the communism side. So, Masonry is our problem and always were, and they genocides and they murders, and they don't have no boundaries, and they command how terse, sick, degenerados, and we don't need that, but we gotta be careful, they are dangerous. So, further this is exactly the point that these ones were producing with the whole of the ministries and the whole of the administration, which will be sodomistration or will be criminalization, instead government and administration for Kirchners, to the making the permanent generation to whatever invention and strategized everyone put it for control in domain, but Néstor Aníbal Fernández, Néstor Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández, Cristina Kirchner, Alberto Fernández, Máximo Kirchner, Alicia Kirchner, and the whole associated, for there to be controlled whatever my activity, my contact element to receiving or sending, or whatever it is to be. So producing also temperatures in my devices for they to control what they says can control, for I cannot install a makeup DMT or any free make software which I were using for making all of them, for the same limitation that I cannot reach out a chap from Mercedes-Benz, Exo company, Microsoft US company, or any other like American Express, Visa International, or DMT, DIC, AT&T, SPDIC, ESPN, Laser New York Radio, and even not even approaching to my communities naturally that I will live on the clear fact of my own life, and with them right beside making the job as anybody will ever do, with the threat of U-turn, I kill them. And with the side of I will be the element of them stimulation, saying I will be them future, of the Kirchner soul in terms of saying how do I tear. Cultura de brujos y de degenerados y de criminales, whichever one is, and doesn't end there. So suddenly at the point of this 666 Kirchner soul, the liars, they are going to be something and going to have future, but destroying my life and destroying my people and sending to rape and murder and saying that my genetics, by a freak with a forensic title and a supposed title of government in Ministry of Health of the nation of Argentina, with an order self-signated saying, I will be a disability demon reduced with no judgment capacity for no court implacement to go through and direct myself and being heard for denigration of the Argentinian law, and the same class of a justice and jurisprudence wouldn't ever endorse such a condition for damaging the institution, to signating itself to saying that my genetics will be able for the making immunology to the class of Evangelistas Unidos, Kirchners, Peronistas, and all associated little shit, opportunistic little shit Argentina, which they lives off the rape and murder of them, six Sodom y Gomorrah equips, supposed expertises, and armed forces and Ejército Argentino, and sort of the same. And telling each, as the whole of the ministries, aside over my virtue, that they will ever take it because of I will damage the nation and the government and pretending I will carry with the destruction of this supposed nation, because of I have been birthed here, and they will ever revenge to the God, because of they will be authorities and evangelics saying, Lord will ever hear the authorities, because of the authorities of a nation is something like God will ever respect and placing itself and letting to him, and while he will be merciful until they do understand they cannot regret. So in the middle of this reality, this circus of horrors of hell, with the pardon of Ken, that is so true, is exactly the class of things I love at the way for ashes to ashes, hell to hell, and what is of Adonai. Well, Adonai. And it's exactly what I want ever, and I fight every day for, and I'm going to keep on. So, at the real for this, Gerham Ablech Masechel Visoshavim, Bableki Fas Matsimada, and Relech Matsinim. I'm sorry again for the tough. The problem is reality. And I am tired, and it's way too much. And the behaviors are at the definition and the quote of genocide for this based, sick, elemental excrement. All. With the pardon of victims and innocence. Then, I'll clear for this, and that's being crucial. I wouldn't have no class of rights, and I will signate them that they will endorse, but I will denigrate the law. And the benches, and the courts, and the justice, and the government, and Argentinian jurisprudence, and the whole of the law artifact. And I will be class of ever actika maplekomatim, class setuba. And I will be classed of someone to never giving no point about nothing, to no rights receiving because of I will be burned. In Argentina, for Argentina to supposedly being suppressed at the destruction that they themselves were willing this to happen, and masking this class of crabs, of the whole of the crab, at the reality that they knows who I am and taking opportunism, or I will be free with the supposed I will be in jail and being prostitute and digmatsekali vishvoklaki felony chunky transvestite and also such a very massive nymph of the whole of the patriotic pleasure. Another wrong telling todavía no se la pusieron, sorry the word, and it's textual. Which this will be the element for they to proceed to the making that they just can do, like the taking my genetics, saying that they has rights to proceeding over immunology because of I will destroy them patriot. And our intentional conscience seek shitagis of Lucifer. Parras 666. And smutty sick ass, if you want the word, forgive me again, the terminologies, but well, I was saying no, but suddenly there is a deliverance at this moment, and not hypocrisy. I'm sick of them. Suddenly on the clear, this is not the video that I wanted to do, but okay, let's make while and through. It's exactly such a very sick side that I am not willing to keep on dealing with. Never endorsed it, never been part of no one. It's a machinery of, there are the few that they says they are me and they can say anything about me and I should ever attach and accept for Luciano Troviano and them brujos, means la bestia, and them brujos will ever keep them to be me, for they to say that and I should ever shut up and say, oh yes, go ahead, because if I'm gonna Bethel Synchrony doing this with the Kirchners, Evangelistas Unidos, Peronistas, with the pardon of you, and the whole